Hey, let's look at lesson 5.6. Use partial quotients to divide. Let's think about our vocabulary, a quotient. So a quotient is just the answer to a division problem, and we know we're going to divide. Partial means part. So we're going to use part of our quotient. We're going to take parts of it, and at the end we're going to add them up to find our whole quotient. Let's break this apart. And remember, this is just one strategy to divide. If this strategy works for you, great. If this strategy doesn't work for you, no problem. Let's try another strategy on another lesson. 90 divided by 6 equals some sort of quotient. So I'm going to break it apart. And to do that, I'm going to put it into this box. So I still have 90. And I have 6 outside. So 90, my dividend, is inside the garage, like we talk about. It's like this is your car. It's more expensive, so it stays in the garage. And then we have our divisor, 6. It is less expensive, so it's outside the garage. And I'm going to ask myself, how close can 6 get to 90? And I'm going to use my handy-dandy multiplication chart because that's just the method, the strategy that works best for me. So I'm going to start at 6, and I want to get close to 90, but I'm going to have a strategy that's going to help me out a little bit. 90 ends in a 0. So I'm going to get 6 as close to 90 as I can, but I want whatever is going to be down here to be 0. So let's get 6 close to 90. Ooh, the only one that I can see that has a 0 in it right now on my chart is 60. How did I get there? 10. So if I look at my multiplication chart, 10 is at the top. So I know that on my top of my partial quotient, I'm going to be putting a 10. Now, straight down from that 10, I have this green box. So I'm going to come and look, and I'm going to look straight down from 10. Where did my numbers meet? 60. Because 10 times 6 is 60. And if I look down here at the bottom, I have these steps written out. So I divided by putting my number on top. Then I multiplied 10 times 6 to give me 60. What's my next step? Subtract, correct. So let's take 90, take away 60. And because I chose a number with a 0 at the end of it, this is going to be very simple. What's 0 take away 0? Well, 0, right? That's pretty straightforward. What's 9 take away 3? If you don't know this, you could use touch points, you could use a number line, or you could count back on your fingers. But I know that 9 take away 6 is 3. Now, if I look back at my steps, the next thing it says is to bring it over. And if I see my yellow right here, where do you see another yellow? Right across. Bring that number over. We're going to bring that 30 from the bottom all the way to the top. And my last step says repeat. Okay, well, I'll go on to step 2, my repeating. So it starts again. What does it say? What's my first step? Divide. So let's get my handy-dandy multiplication chart out. And I know that I'm going to be using 6, because that's my divisor, to get close to 30. How close can 6 get to 30? Ooh, it can get exactly to 30. How did I do that? 5. Where is 5 at on my multiplication chart right now? It's at the top. So if 5 is at the top, that's where it's going to go on my partial quotient graphic organizer here. 5 is at the top on my chart, so 5 goes on the top up here. Now I need to figure out what goes in the orange. Well, it's straight down from the 5. So let's look straight down from the 5, and what do you see? 30. That's where they met. Okay, I'm starting to get this. I divided, and then I got 30 by multiplying 5 times 6. That gave me 30. Now, what's my next step? Subtract. Correct. So let's subtract 30, take away 30. Well, 0 take away 0 is 0, and 3 take away 3 is 0. All right, I've subtracted. Now this last part says add my partial quotients. If I think back to unit 1, or topic 1, 5.1, it told me that a quotient is the answer to a division problem. So I see two things that could be my answer up here. And it says I need to add those partial quotients. So I'm going to take these two pink boxes, my partial quotients, and I'm going to add them up. 10 plus 5 is 15. My whole quotient for 90 divided by 6 is 15. My partial quotients that got me that total were 10 and 5. This was lesson 5.6, use partial quotients to divide.